Greetings, dear students. I'm Kausmin Berjanu, and together we will try to simulate now two parts which will contain the G02 and G03 commands. So we will learn how to use the clockwise circular interpolation and anti-clockwise or counterclockwise circular interpolation. For us to do this, we will study this document, this doc, which has inside all the detail explained on how to mill the part that you see here. So the idea is that we start milling this profile using either G02 or G03 command, as you see here. So what we will do is described here in detail, and I want you to review this document, and I want you to upload this code to CNC Simulator Pro and to make the simulation that it's discussed in this document. But let's see how we do it. Let's see how we do it next in CNC Simulator Pro. So we will open the CNC Simulator Pro software, and we will select from here the mill workpiece. So we go to mill workpiece and we add a new workpiece with the dimensions 100 on Y and the thickness of 20 millimeters. Let us remember the Z thickness because it's very important when we write the code. We will assign a material to this one, and let us remember that this mill workpiece has the number 25. Let us insert it here, and let us remember that we established the 0 point by writing the next two commands, comma 30, comma 30, and using G92, which sets the 0 offset of the machine. So using G92, we will use the workpiece. We will use the workpiece 0. So x30, y30, and z would be equal to the thickness of our part. In this case, 25 part was 20 millimeters, as we already can see from the inventory browser. So we see it here, 25 has 20 millimeters. So here we need to have also 20 at Z. Alright, so let us simulate so far. So what we have here, it's our part, with the 0 of the machine and the 0 of the workpiece inserted in this corner of the workpiece. And now we can use CNC Simulator to program the milling cycle that you see here in the picture. So we observe that we need to make 4 circles using G03. Let us remember from a previous lesson. How we draw an arc using G02 or G03. So we have here the detailed explanation on how we do that. We need to know the starting point, we need to know the ending point of the arc. So if B is start point and C is end point, we can use either G02 or G03 to make the arc from these 2 points. We also need to know the coordinates of the center of the arc, center point, in this case the G. Why we need to know the center point? Because we will reference the code to the center point by putting the I and j vectors. So for example, I can write a command using G02, or I can write a command using G03. No? The command, these two commands will make the same thing, will make the arc from B to C using G02, or from C to B using G03. What is different here is the vector. As you see here, the vector is different from B to the center point, and here from C to the center point. So what is the rule? From the starting point to the center point, we need to make the vector. That will give us the I and j values. So using this reference, know that the vector is positive to the right and positive up, we will obtain the values accordingly. So for example, here it will be 15 and 0, no, I15J0, while here will be I will be 0 because we have no vector on x-axis, but we do have on the y-axis, no, and this points downwards. So therefore we have here I0, j minus 15. So we will use this technique here, no, to make the milling profile that you see in this picture. So at this point we have the workpiece, no, and we need to include now a tool, a cutting tool, no. So we will do this using, no, T, and we will select one cutting tool from here. So I have many cutting tools that I can select, no. So for example, I have this one defined here, a mill with 10 millimeters and diameter 10. I can choose this one, T16 M06, to implement the tool change, no. So now we have loaded on the machine a cutting tool, and we see the cutting tool here in CNC Simulator, as you already know about it. No? So let's see here, put command insert the cutting tool. Okay, using T16 M06. Next, what we need now is to start to make the first circle, and we will use a reference picture here. So we will use this reference picture. So we need to focus on this figure, which has the 4 circles, which all start from the same point, as you see here, 50 and 50, no? Our workpiece is 100 millimeters on X, 100 millimeters on Y. So what we need to do is to go with the cutting tool on this point with coordinates 50 and 50. We will do this using G00 or G0, fast transverse, no? And we will go to X50, Y50, and Z would need to be bigger than 0. So we position the cutting tool on the point with these coordinates X50, Y50, and Z5. Wonderful. Next, we will try to make the first circle. Let's simulate here so that we see. So now it will position the cutting tool, see, right in the center of the workpiece. No, because this is the point with the coordinates 50 and 50. Wonderful. You see here that between the cutting tool and the workpiece we have this Z value. So this is the distance here that we put. We can change this and you will observe that this will decrease. No? you see that now we have a smaller distance according to the value that we give here to the z, 2 millimeters in this case. Wonderful. So we want to make the first circle using G03 or G02, no? Make the first circle. So we will immerse the cutting tool now into the material. So we will use the G01, which is linear feed transverse. So we will immerse this into the material. And let's say that the cutting depth would be 5 millimeters. So Z minus 5. We will start the spindle with 2000 rotations per minute or RPM. We will choose the feed rate. No. We will make the spindle rotate clockwise, M03. No. And we can even begin the coolant to flow by using M08. No. So at this point, the cutting tool will immerse into the material right into this point. Let's simulate. So you see now that the cutting tool it's going into the material. No? Next, in order to do the first circle, we will use the G03, which is arc interpolation counterclockwise. Counterclockwise. Or CCW. No? Circular interpolation counterclockwise. And now let's look at the picture here. Let's look at the picture. So, for example, I want to make this circle, no? This one. We want to make this one, no? In order for us to do the full circle, we don't need to give the coordinates of the final point. As you see from the other picture, we have begin point and final point. So if I want to go from this point and come back to the same point, no, then we have no begin point and end point per se. No? That means, that is to say that the begin and end point of this circle, no, are the same. So what we will do here, we will write exactly this command. We will write I minus 20 J 0. Let's see why we write this command, I minus 20 and J 0. If we look here, in order for us to come back to the same point, no, then we need to focus to the vector, no? The vector is pointing towards the left, no? Is pointing towards the left, therefore the value of this would be minus 20. Let us simulate and see what's happening. So G03, I minus 20, J0. We can go on fast forward so that we do not wait for this too long. And there you go. You have a full circle made using this command G03 and I minus 20 J0. No? Next, we need to make the other circles. No, this one, and this one. No, we can use the same G03 command, but we need to change the I and J values. So what we're going to do now, we're going to retrieve the cutting tool. I'm going to say here Z5, no, or Z10 if you like, it's no problem. What value you give here, and we will start making the second circle. So so make the first circle. No. So these three commands will make the first circle, and now we will make the second circle. In order for us to do the second circle, we will copy these, no, and we will modify them accordingly, no. So I Control C, Control V, no. We position again to the same point, no. We immerse into the material, no, and we use G03, but this time we will change these values, no. So let us figure this. Let us look at this figure. So the second circle, you have it here also, no, in the doc file. The second circle is this one, no, is this one. So what we're gonna use? We're gonna use G03 I20J0. Why? Because this time the vector points towards the right, only on the x-axis. So we have no component of the vector on the y-axis. So we write here I20 and J0. We can also write plus 20, it's no problem. And let us simulate again. I'm going to use the fast forward. So we make the first circle, we retrieve the cutting tool, then we put the same and make the second circle. There you go, and we retrieve the cutting tool. Wonderful. At this point, we have created these two circles. We continue with the next two circles. So we can copy again these, or we can write it again, no? And the next circle, the third circle, no? The third circle is this one with from the bottom, or this one you can choose, it's no problem. So what we change here, we change the coordinates of I and J. I would be 0 and J would be minus 20, no? So I would be 0 and J would be minus 20. And we notice that the vector is pointing downwards now in order for us to make this circle. This is why J is minus 20. Okay, so let us simulate again on fast forward. So we make the first circle, we retrieve the cutting tool, we immerse again, we make the second circle, then we retreat again the cutting tool, then we make the third circle. Excellent. We make the fourth one. No, we will make the fourth one. So by copying all these again. But this time, in order to make the fourth one, let's look at how it should be the vector. The vector is pointing up. So we have no component on the x-axis, but we do have component on the y-axis. And this is positive. So I would be 0, J would be plus 20. So we go again to CNC Simulator. I would be 0, J would be plus 20. So we play only with I and J in order to make these four circles. Let's simulate again to see the fourth circle as well. So we make the first, we make the second, the third, and the fourth. Excellent. And then we retrieve the cutting. So far so good. We are here. We are here at this point. We need to remove this inside material in order to have the part that you see here. No, we notice that we don't have any any material into the profile. No. So how we do this? We will do this using the same commands, but this time we will choose different values for the circle interpolation, the circular interpolation. So I will copy again these and paste them here. So we will go to the same point, we did this here, the same X50, Y50, Z2. We immerse into the material. These two commands will be left alone. We do not change these. And now we will use many commands of G03. No? So I will use one now with a smaller radius. So I will have G03 and I will make I minus 15 J0. Then I'll write G03 I plus 15 J0. Then G03 I0 J15 and one more G03 I0, you guessed it, J minus 15. So this time we are making circular cuts with our cutting tool, but we will have the radius of 15 instead of 20. No? So a smaller radius because these debris, no, this material, it's inside. No? So we need a smaller radius to cut. Let us see. Let us see what we'll do. So I will simulate again. I want to fast forward. So we have the 4 circles done again. And then we will remove the material from the contour using the same G03 command. So look how beautiful we will do it. So we will use circular interpolation 4 times. As you see here, the cutting tool is moving in circle again, and we still have some material left, and we will do the following. We will position to one of these points, no? And now I'm going to position here to this point. So I'm going to use G00, X70, Y50, no, Z10, no. So notice that I'm not positioning the cutting tool into the center. I'm positioning here at some point, no, with a bigger X value. Okay, and then we immerse the cutting tool, G01, Z minus 5, again, S2000, and 03 and 08. Alright, cool on tone. And we will use now again the G03. So we will cut again using circular motion. But this time we will use, you guessed it, again, 20 millimeters radius. So I would be 0 minus 20 and J would be 0. I would be minus 20 and J would be 0. Because we have positioned here at this point, no, this is 70 and 50, no? So the vector is pointing from the right to the left. This is why I is minus 20 and J is 0. Okay, and we will stop the spindle of the machine with M05. So this will stop the spindle of the machine, and we will end the whole program with M30, program end. Okay, so stop the spindle, M05. We can say here again G00, Z10. That means we retreat the cutting tool with this millimeters on the axis, and then we finish the program with M30. Let us see the simulation now in fast forward. So use of circular interpolation in CNC Simulator Pro. We can use also G02 command with the same effect. So instead of G03, you can use in programming the G02 command and it will do the same. So this is the last command that we did, and this will eliminate all the material left in the profile. So at this point, now we have created this profile that looks like this. Thanks for watching this video. Please implement this document on CNC Simulator Pro on your computers, on your laptops, and try to change the parameters. No? Try to change the I and J parameters, try to play with these parameters so that you learn how to use the G02 or G03 command properly. We will make other very interesting simulation in CNC Simulator Pro on next videos. Thanks for watching, and should you have any questions, please address your questions on our WeChat group. Thank you and bye bye.